olacak. Öncelikle Garanti BBVA gelecek dönem hedef ve vizyonunu bizlerle paylaşmak üzere Garanti BBVA Genel Müdür Yardımcısı Sayın Selahattin Güldü'yü alkışlarınızla sahneye davet ediyorum. Sayın Güldü.
Sayın Başkanlar, değerli basın mensupları, saygıdeğer konuklar. Türkiye Giyim Sanayi Derneği'nin organizasyonunda gerçekleştirilen bu konferansta bulunmanın mutluluğu içerisindeyim. Ülkemizin lokomotif sektörü olan bu konferansın, hazır giyime odaklanacağımız bu konferansın hepimize verimli ve faydalı olacağını umut ediyorum. Değerli konuklar, Türkiye ekonomisinin lokomotifi olan hazır giyim ve tekstil, hepimizin bildiği gibi çok değerli bir rakamlar, pardon şuradan okuyayım. Değerli konuklar, tekstil ve hazır giyim Türkiye ekonomisinin lokomotifidir. 2018 yılı içerisinde Türkiye'deki ihracatın %16'sını tekstil ve hazır giyim sanayi gerçekleştirmişti. Cari açık açısından baktığımızda da hemen hemen girdilerin ülkemizde üretilmesi sayesinde tamamı ülke ekonomisine katım değer sağlayan önemli bir sektörden bahsediyoruz. Kısaca tekstil ve hazır giyim en fazla ticaret fazlası veren sektörlerin başında gelmektedir. 2018 yılında sektörün dış ticaret fazlası yaklaşık %17 milyar dolar olarak gerçekleşti. Buna ilk olarak istihdamda işsizliğin azalmasına ve toplumun faydasına çok ciddi şekilde katkı sağlamaktadır. Türkiye'de çalışan nüfusun %6'sı tekstil ve hazır giyimde çalışmaktadır. İmalat sanayinin %25'i tekstil ve hazır giyimdedir. Bunun içerisinde %40 çalışan nüfusun %40'ı bayanlardan oluşmaktadır. Yani tekstil ve hazır giyim cinsiyet eşitliğine katkı sağlayan en önemli alanlardan başında gelmektedir. Sektör olarak bir diğer dikkat çekici başarı ise Türkiye'nin tekstil ve hazır giyimde artık üretim yapan ülke konumundan çıkıp tasarım satan bir ülke konumuna gelmiş olması. Dolayısıyla Better Together temasıyla sürdürülebilirlik, döngüsel ekonomi, markalaşma, teknoloji, moda, global pazarlama ve tedarik zinciri gibi konu başlıklarıyla ilgili dünyadaki yeni trend ve gelişmelerin konuşulacağı bu konferansın hepimizin için ufuk açıcı olacağına inancım tamdır. Kıymetli konuklar, Garanti BBVA olarak yatırım, istihdam, üretim, iç pazar ve ihracat anlamında ülke ekonomisinin kilit sektörlerine olan tekstilde her zaman maksimum desteği sunmaya gayret ediyoruz. Uzun yıllardır birlikte çalıştığımız çok değerli firmalarımız mevcut. Bu anlamda portföyümüzün her geçen gün geliştirmeye devam ediyoruz. Sadece finansman anlamında değil, yeni pazarlara açılma konusunda da şirketimize her türlü danışmanlık hizmeti vermeye devam edeceğiz. Bugüne kadar olduğu gibi bundan sonra da ekonomist için son derece kilit konumda olan tekstil ve hazır giyim sektöründe faaliyet gösteren firmaları desteklemek en önceki hedeflerimizdendir. Bu vesileyle konferansa emeği geçen tüm paydaşlara teşekkür ediyor, faydalar diliyorum.
Sektörümüze ışık tutan konuşmalarından dolayı Sayın Güldü'ye çok teşekkür ediyoruz. Sizi sahnede tutacağız. Günün anısına bir hediye takdimimiz olacak ve hediye takdimi için Türkiye Giyim Sanayicileri Derneği Yönetim Kurulu üyesi Sayın Kemal Genç'i alkışlarınızla sahneye davet ediyorum. Sayın Güldü, sizi sahnenin ortasına rica ediyoruz. Garanti BBVA Genel Müdür Yardımcısı Sayın Selahattin Güldü ve hediye takdimi için Türkiye Giyim Sanatçıları Derneği Yönetim Kurulu üyesi Sayın Kemal Gence çok teşekkür ediyoruz. Alkışlarınızla yerlerine uğurluyorum. Şimdi de kıymetli misafirlerimiz yeni dünya denkleminde Türkiye ve Çin'in stratejik önemini ve ekonomilere genel bakışı ve büyük veriyi anlatmak üzere konferansımızın bir diğer konuşmacısı Garanti BBVA Baş Ekonomisti Alvaro Ortiz Vidal Abarca'yı sahneye davet ediyorum. Mr. Vidal Abarca, I would like to invite you to the stage for your speech, please.
Good morning, günaydın. It is a pleasure for me to be here. I have mixed emotions because I am from Spain, from Europe, but I've been living here this is my 5th year. So let me try to show you what is the evolution of the economic recovery in Turkey. Today I have to bring good news. Last year were difficult times, and let's check what happened during the last 1 year and what are the main challenges for the future. The Turkish economy is rebalancing very rapidly after the last year crisis. As you can see, last year, at the beginning of 2018, the economy was growing at 7%, which is a little bit high, and then the crisis hit the economy. The economy have entered in a deep recession. All the companies, the people suffer deeply the recession. We are now in the second quarter at -1.6, but fortunately I come here to announce you that the economy is recovering very fast, and in the last quarter of this year, the economy will recover high growth rates. We are estimating near 3.5%, but we won't be surprised if it is a little bit higher. This economic recovery has been matched, accompanied with a rapid disinflation. Due to the sharp depreciation of the lira, the inflation picked up at 25% last year, but I have to announce tomorrow we will know the data of September inflation will be below 2 digits. This is remarkable because it means near 15% of correction in inflation in 1 year. Due to the sharp contraction on economic domestic demand, the current account, and also to the support of the exports and the tourist arrivals, the current account has virtually disappeared. And from a 7.5% at the beginning of the last year, we are now in surplus. So I think that this is remarkable. These figures are remarkable. And let me explain why we think that the V-shaped recovery is well alive and even is accelerating according to our more recent data. One of the problems that we have in Turkey is that the high-frequency indicators are published with a lag, the most important in the industrial production, and we will still waiting the August data. But what we do is a monthly GDP indicator, and what I come to announce you it is that the economy is already in what we call green shoots. The economy is growing, is accelerating. We have some indicators of the transaction, which are our banking big data, and I can announce that this is happening. So it is not a surprise for us that even the IMF corrected their forecast and will present in Washington in a couple of weeks a positive growth year, when 1 year ago everybody was expecting near -2, -2.5 contraction. So this is good news, and I would like to share with all of you. What is happening more recently, our transaction big data, we collect every transactions that the people do and the companies do in Turkey, so that this recovery, it is not only happening, but it is accelerating and gaining momentum. We have 8%, between 5-8% increases in real spending. In September, as you see, in orange is still industrial production, but we expect a sharp recovery in the next meeting. There is not magic at all in all of this. If you remember, September and October last year were the very hard months, so when we compare with the last year levels, the economy will start to accelerate very, very rapidly. Indeed, what we see in your, relative to your sector is that some of the segments is already showing these green shoots. For example, the manufacturing of wearing apparels. We think that we will continue and they will be maintained at least for the rest of this year, most likely the next year too. Inflation. Inflation, we will know tomorrow that inflation will drop from 15 to 9.5%, which is substantially. This has been important. It has not been a really easy job. It took a necessary and hard decision like a rising interest rate last year. So this is what happened with the interest rate. Everybody knows here in Turkey, the families, the companies know what happened. The lira depreciated sharply, inflation started to accelerate, and the central bank has no more choice than to raise interest rates tightly. We were at 24 levels of interest rate, which is very high for families, for companies, for everybody, during almost 1 year. Now it is time to ease. The most of the difficult job has already been done. The central bank, it is already easing, reducing interest rate. We expect that this will pass through to the families and to the companies with a lag, but the next quarter we will already see some flourishing signs of demand for credit. However, we think that the central bank has to maintain some prudence because inflation expectations are still high, and this is a long run job. The other remarkable thing that happened in Turkey last year, it was the adjustment of domestic demand. Domestic demand has prompted the virtual disappearance of the drop in domestic demand prompted the virtual disappearance of the current account deficit. You know that Turkey was in the one of the emerging market fragile list because a high current account deficit. Well, I can tell you that this has disappeared. We are now in surplus. It will enter in deficit according to our expectation in the next year, but not to the really high levels that we see in the past. So, although the textile exports are moderating, given that Europe domestic demand, it is losing momentum. Some of you commented that during the last year, the last 2 years, they were more or less booming. You see a growth rate of 5 to 10%. There are some moderation in the economies. As you see on the right, Europe is still the main trade partner in terms of textile with the Turkish economy, followed by the Gulf countries and to a lesser extent to the US. We have to mention that textile among export continue to be among the top industries for the Turkish economy with cars and tourism. So let me talk a little bit about the future. And we think that with the necessary reforms, Turkey could maintain the potential of the last decade. I'm not talking about the future, which I think is still promising. I was talking what happened during the last decade, even taking into account 3 mini crises. The big one financial crisis, one in 2016 due to uncertainty and the failed coup, and the last but not least, the important crisis on this year. Even with that, the economy was able to grow 4.8%. If you think it's easy, you can see the graph on the right. And this is the average for the last 10 decades of growth in my countries, like Euro area. It is not surpassing 1%. Other advanced economies, more flexible economies, are growing, even the US, at above 2%. In the emerging markets, Turkey continues to be in green among the top outperformers and only behind the rapid growth Asian economies. So we think that with necessary reforms, with the right policies, this could continue in the near future. Another thing that is going to characterize the Turkish economy during the following years is that the population premium, although will moderate, like in the rest of the world states in Africa, will moderate to a lower pace than the neighbors with gloomy demographics, including declining population and aging in the rest of Europe. I'm coming from Europe, I'm a Spaniard, I have the participant of this population pyramid title as Western Europe. We are not young population, we are aging very, very fast. If you compare this with the Turkish population pyramid, has another shape and more promising shapes. More easy, if you see the population growth that we expect in Europe in the coming year, you can see that the economy is stagnating in the best cases, even in the emerging Europe is declining, and in Turkey will maintain above 1% growth percent next year. The other thing which is really advanced in the world, it is the emerging market middle class revolution, and in Turkey it is much more advanced with some support of the middle high income classes. You can see on the left what is the projections, and these are not really very long run projections because are until 2025 of the middle classes in the emerging markets and Turkey. First, you have to see that poverty is reducing very fast in the world, and this is another good news that I am to bring you, and that the middle classes and affluent classes are increasing in the emerging market. This is mainly driven by the Asian economies, and the segment on the low middle income classes, it is due to India that someone commented before. The structure of the middle classes of the Turkish economy, it is different, it is well more advanced, and what we expect is that in the coming year, it will be the middle high and affluent segment we will continue to increase. And last but not least, we have to take opportunity the rebalancing of the world economy. I don't will bring you a surprise if I tell you that in the next 10 years, most of the growth story will come from the Asia-Pacific area. Near 2/3 will come in from there, from Asia, from China, from India, for the high dynamic and very populated growth areas. And we still think that Turkey has a very important logistic position to take full of this opportunity. Something in the middle between Europe and Asia that will be a premium for the Turkish economy in the coming years. Thank you very much. I hope to the next year to bring more good news for the Turkish economy.
Mr. Vidal, Abarca, thanks for your speech, and we have a gift for you, hediye takdimi için.